Hey, Be It Pod listener. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being you. Thanks for watching our podcast here on our YouTube channel. I'm just so grateful for you. I have a big favor, and let me just say it's not easy for me to ask for help, but I need your help. I'm on a mission. I really want to change as many lives and help people be it till they see it all over the world, and I need your help. We have been so grateful. The amount of downloads our podcast has had in just a short period of time is it's amazing. It's insane. However, we also need more written reviews. And specifically on Apple. So even if you are watching here on YouTube, or you listen on Spotify, or you listen on Google Play, Apple Podcasts is where everyone looks to see which podcasts they should send people on for interviews. And so we need lots of reviews to be there, like 100 written reviews. So big, huge favor, if you use the link below, go write a review, rate us, give us all the stars you love, and let me know. Screenshot it, send it to me on the Be It Pod. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. We truly can't do this podcast without you, and I'm just so grateful that these words hit your ears. And if you wouldn't mind writing us that review, that would be amazing, and I would be so forever grateful. Thank you, and now here's a podcast you want to listen to.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Leslie Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the impressive conversation I had with Jennifer van Barneveld-Pe in our last episode. So you can go back and listen to that one and then listen to this one, or you can listen to this one and then that one, or maybe you already listened to that one.
Maybe.
Because some of you are like on it like I am. Monday, we listen. So you can feel free to pause this, listen to it, or be awesome and keep going. Here's the deal, y'all. First time in a long time, we are having a sale at onlinepilatesclasses.com/sale. This is, we never do this. Usually it's only for the challengers, but you can get in on one of our amazing annual memberships. It's based on the equipment that you have access to, and it's for like a few days only. So if you are behind on your podcasts, it's over.
Yeah, normally we don't offer this outside of the people who are doing the challenge, which you've heard us talk about. So this is the first time that we've opened it up to the public, in addition to the challengers. So to find more information, you can go to onlinepilatesclasses.com/sale.
Yeah, join OPC. Yeah, you know me. Ooh. All right. Well, do we have a question from the listeners, my love?
We do. This is great. I love it when we love connecting with you through Instagram. So thanks for sending this in. I've never done Pilates. Can I get started on my own, or do I need to go to a studio? Well, let me tell you. No, I'm just kidding. You can field this one, love.
Okay. Honestly, sure. I think a studio is great if you have access to one. I mean, there's awesome opportunities to be had when you're in person, but you can totally get started on your own. Like that is even what Joseph Pilates wanted. He put his exercises in a book and hoped people would do them. And little plug here, at OPC, we actually have an intro series that I created specifically so that people could get started on their own. And so many people have their 10-minute to 15-minute classes, and they're designed to prepare you to join an all levels class, whether that is an OPC class or a class at your gym or a studio. So the reality is that not every exercise is for every body. Sometimes now, sometimes later, or sometimes ever. And so the beautiful thing about Pilates is that every exercise is very compounding onto the next one. So when you learn the foundational exercises, you can pretty much just put them together and it becomes a more intermediate or advanced exercise. So yes, you can absolutely get started on your own. And I hope you do with us, because that'd be a lot of fun. But if not, and you have a studio close by, go do it up. Like that's also nice. We have a lot of people who do both. They do OPC and they do a studio. So never.
If you don't have access to a studio and you're still interested, we have been filming exercise tutorials for years
Brad
on
made
the
me
website.
do it.
So we have hundreds of them. A guy agrees. We have hundreds of them, and you can go on. They're free. So just go to onlinepilatesclasses.com. Up in the menu, you'll see free tutorials, and you can
choose the mat.
Yeah. Also, if you do that Intro to Pilates series that Lesley was talking about, there's a quick guide on the left side that has a link to the free tutorial to explain each of the exercises that she's taking you through during the 3 videos that you get with the intro series. So anyway, feel free to check that out. If you have any questions, just chat to us.
Yeah, and I love that you asked this question. It's it might seem like something that people should just know on their own, but I didn't know this until I started doing Pilates, and Pilates is the best thing you can add to anything you're already doing. And so I hope that you get started with us or get started on your own, and don't let not having access to equipment stop you from getting Pilates in your body.
Okay, now let's talk about Jennifer van Barneveld-Pe. I mean, that's a name right there. I'm just saying. Because of that, she goes by JVB. She also goes by Jenny.
Yeah.
So Jennifer van Barneveld-Pe is an inspiring body transformation specialist, entrepreneur, fitness cover model, wife, and mom of 2. After starting her fitness journey as a trainer at the age of 18 and eventually fainting on the gym floor from unhealthy eating and unhealthy exercising, she went back to school to study holistic nutrition. She is now the founder of an incredible community of strong women, is also the president of Strong Fit magazine. I think that's a recent thing for her within the past year or something. Mm-hmm. And she's doing everything she can to support women live their best, helping them to live their best lives.
So cool. She's so freaking kind. And
I was pretty awesome that she was willing to be a guest.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
especially because I don't know that we'd launched the pod yet when that interview happened.
No, we have this interview, y'all, happened so long ago. The podcast wasn't launched, and here I am being the president of Strong Fitness magazine to interview with me. I'm like, I don't know when this is actually going to go up because Apple hasn't approved my podcast yet. But
oh, that's right. Yeah. We were supposed to be live.
Yeah.
But then Apple held us up for
over a month.
Yeah. 6 weeks, I think.
It was insane. And she was still like, of course, no problem. And she's like, you should be on my podcast. And I was like, okay, great. And now y'all, I consider her an absolute friend, and she wants to come visit us in Vegas, and
really fun.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of reaching out. You know when I tell y'all to screenshot our podcast and put a takeaway? So that's actually how Jenny and I started talking. I took a screenshot. I took a screenshot of a that also sounds redundant. Anyways, at some point I did a screenshot on my phone and I tagged her and Amy Ladine, who was one of our guests, because she was on Amy's podcast. And I was like, this girl is awesome. And in that podcast, she's like, yeah, I'm launching a podcast. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. So I promoted Amy's pod with her. And then I said, I can't wait to hear about your podcast. I know how tough it is to launch. We're in the middle of launching our own. So, just let me know when you launch. I'm happy to promote it. And she's like, that's amazing. We started this whole conversation back and forth. Then when her podcast launched, I promoted it. She was so grateful. And then she's like, I need to have you on my podcast. And I was like, cool. I want to have you on mine. So cool. Let me just say, the power of DMs, it happens when you tag someone, you literally have access to them. And most people do not give up the power of their DMs to an assistant or to anybody else. So you could literally be talking to the person that you are inspired by or have taken advice from, and then you can talk to them, and who knows, they become a friend.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
She was telling us actually it was a really great convo. You covered a lot of ground.
I know.
Everything from her story of how she got into starting her community to then accepting the role as the president of Strong Fit and why she did that. Anyway, there's just a lot.
Yeah. Well, I really loved when she talked about asking for help when you need it, because this is something that's really hard for me to do. And it's always a good reminder. I've gotten so much better because as our companies grow and as our dogs grow, like you just need more help than you can't get away from asking for it. And when it's so amazing when you ask for help, the people that step forward to do it, it just makes you realize, like, look at all the work that I've put out there that people want to be supportive and help back. So I just think that's a great reminder for us all. It's like, if you need help, ask for it.
Yeah, she was talking about specifically with her family. You asked her how can you possibly run a company, be the president of a magazine, and have 2 kids?
Yeah.
And she said, well, I have help. She said she felt very guilty at first for hiring a nanny. And she said, but it took a little bit of time, but she's shifted her view to be grateful for the influence that this nanny is able to have in her kids' lives, that it's a second influence in her kids' lives. So helping them become more than just, what she and her husband are sowing into them, but also now there's another perspective. And I thought that was really an amazing way to look at it. Also, she said that the mom guilt never goes away, but because they're able to be close to the grandparents and have a team around them, asking for help has been easier to do.
So, I love that.
Yeah,
I think it's great. I think also some of those people that you ask for help because you're hiring them, you are changing their lives and the people around them, because this nanny is doing something that she really wants to do. She's able to pass along great and like advice and support these 2 kids. And then she goes home to her family and to people that are in her life. And so I think we forget that when you hire people to help you with something you're passionate about, that it allows them to do something that they love and get paid for it, and then spread that to the people around them. So, anyways, ask for help when you need it. That's what I loved. What did you love?
Well, she said she said being a mom it forces you to be more organized, and she was missing her workouts. And she said as her kids are getting older, they are sleeping till 7. And so she decided to set aside time for herself in the mornings and get her workout in early. And it made me realize that we're on the right path, right? If she can be running a team, running a company, being a mom, and still making time for herself, she did talk about self-care. She did talk about, how amazing she feels to tackle the rest of the day after she's gotten her workout in. And I love that we've been focused on that with the challenge, the me, myself, and I theme for this recent challenge. Because it's a great indicator,
I always love when I hear people promoting the same things that we are talking about, because it's a little confirmation that I'm not just making up something that I think is important. And also, I think it's really easy for people to hear me say that and go, yeah, Lesley, must be easy for you. You don't have kids. But when you hear another mom say it, a woman who's running a company say it, it's like, yeah. And she does it too. And it's because it's that important. It's so important to have that precious time. And maybe you don't even work out. Maybe you just sit in the sunshine or sit in the darkness. I don't know what time you're getting up, and be still and just have quiet time. Whatever time aside looks like for you is, you get to decide that, but it is so important that we do that. And I'm glad she brought that up too.
Yeah. And for some, honestly, it might simply be clocking out, because working from home, it's so easy to work late.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, okay, it's dinner time. I'm finished now. I'm done working. And that could be the first place to start. All right, finally, let's talk about those be it action items that you covered with Coach JVB, with Jenny. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with her? The thing that I really, that was okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. Was the very end, she said, correct and continue. I'm pretty sure it was like the very last thing she was talking about. Correct and continue. And I thought that was so great because, we talked about it before, taking baby steps, small steps, stepping stones, whatever. That whole idea, of moving the needle forward. And it's also the idea from very back at the very beginning when we were talking about the staircase.
Yeah.
Where, like the direction with Rob. Yeah, with Rob Mack. That there's the staircase there. You know the way you're going, but you might not know exactly every single step. And I love this addition to it. Correct and continue. Take a step forward if that's still the right step. Great. If not, correct, then take another step forward. If not correct, then take another step forward. So that I thought was awesome. It's really amazing to conceptualize that.
Well, it takes the perfectionist out of it. And like, just to bring it back to Pilates, because that's what I love. When you're doing a Pilates exercise, if it's, like I was just teaching Brad this morning, actually, and I gave him a correction and he continues to move. And so it's not like we stop, we got to have a moment about it, we got to do a lecture about it, we got to like beat ourselves up about it. It's like,
a family meeting.
He just needs to press into his feet more and keep going, right? So I think it's one of the things that I truly love about how our Pilates practice can really help us train us for life is that as you're doing the movement, if you're like, oh, I'm not feeling this in the right spot, you just go ask yourself, okay, I need to pull my ribs in a little bit more, or I need to pull my shoulder in my back. And you just keep continuing on because the body will teach itself. And as you are doing things in your life and you make these corrections, you continue. What's cool is your body and brain remember that. And they go, oh, the last time we went through that, this is what happened. Yeah. And so you aren't having to revisit that lesson unless you want to, over and over again. So yeah.
Dating the same person. What?
Yeah. We stopped doing that. Okay.
Correct and continue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my biggest takeaway is accept that you're going to have imposter syndrome and still do it anyway. And this is actually something I think is important because I'm hearing a lot of people calling out imposter syndrome as the reason why they're not doing something. And Brene Brown even had a talk about it on one of her podcasts recently. I'm not actually sure if she was on someone else's or if it was hers, but there's so much blaming the imposter syndrome, and that's like the excuse to not do something. And I'm not saying imposter syndrome doesn't exist. It 100% does. But using it as a reason to not do something is actually a problem. That's actually not cool. Imposter syndrome is going to be there because in theory, if you're trying something new, you are in fact an imposter, period. So you have to just go, okay, I feel like I'm an imposter because I'm new at this. And I'm going to do it anyways. And that's really what courage is. Mm-hmm. And so, I love that she brought that up as a be it action item. Yeah. So, because it's like,
she was talking about her podcast and starting the pod, and
oh my God.
And she's like, well, it's something I always wanted to do, but she thought, who am I to be,
same
on a pod, like hosting it. And, so yeah, but the key was still doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I even told Lori Harder this when I was on her podcast. I said, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, why would anyone listen? What if I waste people's time?
Sure.
But we did it anyways. And the reality is, as soon as it went up, that imposter syndrome went away because now I am a podcaster. We're on episode 42. This is 43. 44, actually. I'm looking at the notes. I can count. So anyways, yeah, when you're feeling imposter syndrome, just feel and go, oh, that's imposter syndrome right now. I'm going to go anyways. I'm going to do it anyways because I promise you want to do it when like you are new at something and don't have a ton. It's not like you want to be like, okay, I'm going to wait till I have 1 million followers and then I'm going to be good enough to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, now you're going to launch something for the first time in front of 1 million people. I'd rather do 5. I'd rather do it in front of 5 people.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Anyways.
Amazing.
Well, this is awesome. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so grateful you're here. I hope you enjoyed listening to Jenny's interview. And we would love to know how you're going to use these tips in your life. So take a screenshot, tag Jenny, she's Coach JVB, tag the Be It Pod, and let us know your takeaways. And that way we can see them and be inspired. I know it'll be a gift to her. And then if you have questions, you can DM the Be It Pod and we'll answer them on the next episode. Until then, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
Kevin and Belle at Disenyo handle all of our audio editing and some social media content.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jaira Mondal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Pedroso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.